Okay, I think we're ready to go. Great to see some of the current student athletes here. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I know that it means a lot to your alums, so thank you very much for filling up those seats. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Northeastern for so many of you. It's great. I know I've talked to many of you throughout the last couple of hours, and it's been a long time, so welcome home. What I love most about a night like tonight there are so many different people, different ages, different races, different nationalities, different specialties, but you all have one thing in common, and that is you went to Northeastern. So my name is Tom Lydon. I am so thrilled and honored beyond belief to consistently be a part of what is such a special night. I know that this is a great celebration for so many of you individually and collectively. You're surrounded by friends and family. This is a night to celebrate you. This is a night to celebrate what you've achieved. This is a night to celebrate your legacies, and to be a part of that is very, very special for me, and I am indebted to Jim Madigan for bringing me back. It's just a fantastic night. Established in 1974, the Northeastern Athletics Hall of Fame recognizes Northeastern University's most impactful and outstanding student athletes, coaches, and benefactors. At this time, because I see a lot of red jackets out there, I would like to ask any members of the Hall of Fame from our previous induction classes who are here with us tonight to please stand up so we can give you a very well-deserved round of applause. And there is no doubt in my mind, beyond the people who we are honoring tonight, that there are Hall of Famers among us sitting in the back of this auditorium. I mean, how proud are you of the current crop of Northeastern student athletes and how fantastic they are? You set the standard and they're running with it. You passed the baton and they took it. We also do want to take a moment to remember all of those who are not here with us tonight, including Jack Grinold, George Makris. Both Jack and George served the Hall of Fame committee in a number of capacities during their careers, and their legacy and passion for Northeastern athletics lives on through this event each and every year. The Northeastern athletics community also mourns the recent losses of Philip McCabe Sr., Hall of Famer, longtime Northeastern administrator, and Chip Rucker, 1980-81 men's basketball team inductee. At this time, we ask everyone just to take a moment to remember those people we mentioned and others who might be close to your heart in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. We do have a great night, an exciting night ahead, and it starts by welcoming your Director of Athletics and Recreation, Mr. Jim Madigan. Please welcome Jim.
Thank you, Tom. Wonderful to see so many familiar faces out here today, and the reception earlier upstairs in the ballroom was great to reconnect. It's great to see the two teams on the 87-88 women's team and the 80-81 men's basketball team get up there with their friends and reconnect. See the 6 individual inductees and all their teammates who are out here to support them. Just a great evening and a great start to the evening. This is Northeastern University. This is about family. This is about community, and it was really evident there earlier this evening. Earlier this afternoon, it was great to see the men's basketball program come to practice and get out there and spend some time with Coach Cohen and his players, and just to see that reconnection. Many of them haven't been back here on campus in a long time, so it was great to witness all of that. And for our young men and women in the back of the room, student athletes, this is what it's all about. It's about family, it's about community, it's about sense of belonging here at the university, and these alums and friends of the program have been here for a long time, and this is what you have to look forward to when you leave beyond your years here at Northeastern. When I look at this Hall of Fame class, We're fortunate to have 6 individuals and 2 teams being inducted. They have worked tirelessly during their time here at Northeastern and are more than worthy of this accomplishment and deserving of this prestigious honor. This Hall of Fame class represents 7 different athletic teams and programs at Northeastern. They're Olympians, they're All-Americans, school MVPs, school record holders, conference champions, Beanpot champions. They've represented our institution at NCAA competitions, brought our school a tremendous amount of pride, tremendous amount of prestige during their time here at Northeastern. And they've gone on to represent themselves well in the university in their professional careers. You know, this class of 2023, Chris Emanuel, Jim Hennessy, Madison Maley, Jen Ruggiero Rowe, Kendall Coyne Schofield, Joe Vitale, the 1987-88 women's hockey team, the 1980-81 men's basketball team, congratulations on being the newest class of inductees to Northeastern University. You were tremendous ambassadors as a student athlete, although I did go to class with some of the basketball players, so we're kind of there for the season, not the reason a little bit earlier on, but it's great to see so many of them back here, and I was in class, as I said early on, was a freshman, so you were tremendous ambassadors for the university, student athletes, and as coaches, and now you can continue to exemplify the standard in your lives, in your daily lives. We're most fortunate to call you Hall of Fame members in every aspect of your life, and we're grateful for the dedication that you've placed to Northeastern University. So without further ado, and you don't want to hear me keep chatting, now let's get started. First, please turn your attention to the screen behind me as we share the video celebrating the successes of our first inductee and Husky baseball star, and from my hometown in Etobicoke, Toronto, Chris Emanuel.
Chris had an immediate impact on our program. As a freshman, he was a game changer, a true game changer, both offensively and defensively.
He had this swagger that I had only really seen the best guys in college and then, the best guys in the professional ranks have.
He definitely knew and was confident in his ability, but he was also kind of like a sponge. He listened to anything we had to say, had all the talent in the world, but also was willing to learn as much as possible.
Exceptional leader in the program, well liked by the players, the coaches, everyone around the campus.
He started becoming more vocal, right? And it was great to see because I knew him since we were kids, and you just see that growth as a leader. First, is always going to be lead by example, but he eventually started being more vocal.
He was a great person off the field. I think that says a lot about Chris. Always willing to help out whenever any way he could. It was just a pleasure being around him.
But Chris comes in and he's fired up, and he's never really fired up. I've never seen him like this. And he goes, "I got your back," to our teammates. Might have been the first pitch, just an absolute bomb to left field over the stands to tie it up or give us the lead again. And that was my favorite memory because it's just like an evolution from when we were kids to being that selfless teammate and coming up in one of the biggest moments. I just saw my best friend just become something else in that moment.
Playing against the Red Sox, I forget who it was pitching. First pitch, homer. It was an amazing, tone-setting moment for us. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that's different. He doesn't look like us in that moment.
Who calls a shot, man? That's some Babe Ruth stuff. He's like, "I'm gonna get one of them." We just looked at him and was like, "Yeah, you will."
He was a really sincere guy. I'm super, super grateful that he was my roommate. This guy is an awesome dude and a really good player. And somebody overall I want to be like. Shoot, I grew my hair out because Chris grew his hair out, and it became a cultural thing on the team.
His hair just always annoyed me. It took forever in the bathroom, and it had to be slicked back. It had to look wet. I never understood that style, but it worked for him. I just wanted to get a blow dryer and blow dry it off every time we went out, but that's his look. It's just him. He was a riot. Don't let those eyes and smile fool you. He's a riot. I don't care what anyone says. I know him.
Him choosing Northeastern as a school he wanted to be at and play at, that type of player, and allowing us to get that type of player and be here, definitely set the stage for the future of the program.
Winners want to go to places that win. So I think he was really foundational in continuing to build that legacy as a cornerstone of, hey, this is what Northeastern baseball stands for.
Chris was a huge part of that, just by the way he carried himself on and off the field. For people to see that and kind of carried the program, in those steps in the right direction to get to where it is today.
Honestly, he's just a plain stud. Coach McPhee was able to recruit one of the best talents in North America at the time, and that guy exceeded every expectation. He played the game the right way. He's Boston through and through with his hard work, his demeanor, and he represented the team and our university with class. He deserves it 100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Northeastern baseball standout Christopher Emmanuel, the newest member of the Northeastern Athletics Hall of Fame. That's great. Are you on? Give it a test, just talking a little bit. Hello? Okay, welcome to our fireside chat, not by a fire. This is my favorite part of this whole thing because it puts everybody at ease. I just want all the inductees to be comfortable. So have a little seat, kick back. I feel a little bit like Zach Galifianakis between two ferns, but that's good. So welcome, and you get to break the ice here.
Thank you.
One of the first impressions I had of you down as we were meeting earlier today was just how did you find Northeastern, or how did Northeastern find you?
Well, growing up in Canada, Coach McPhee was close friends with our head coach up for the Canadian national team, and I was at a showcase actually in Wareham in the Cape, and Coach McPhee was there and recruited me right from there. And it was just, ever since then, it was my first school I came to visit, and after I came here, I could not come here. It was just so many things I loved about the campus when I first came. It was close to home. It was in a city that I loved.
But Canadian, so it's not all that close. A little bit, I guess you didn't go to Florida. But you enjoyed some success right away. I mean, team won a championship in 2003, so you must have thought, hey, this is pretty easy, but it's not. So tell me about that first team and being able to be a part of a championship squad.
Well, coming in as a freshman, it's a little intimidating, but I had great leadership behind me, in front of me, and it was just, it was a family right from the get-go, and I'm friends with some of the guys. Some of the guys are sitting in the crowd today that told me and brought me in and made it feel like home right from the get-go. So
we talked about, and this is going to be a recurring theme because a lot of you current student athletes have done such a great job. These alums come back and their eyes are wide and they say, wow, it's amazing to see how well the team currently is playing. Does it give you a sense of pride? I'm sure there's some bragging rights and some smack talk that go along with being able to say you're from Northeastern. Did you see what the Huskies are doing?
Especially like the past few years, and the team I went out to practice today to watch the boys play, and it was unbelievable seeing them hustle and root for each other. And like I told them today, I would do it all over again. I wish I was a freshman coming in, putting on the uniform, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So like I told them, you got to enjoy every second. It goes by so quick. Root for each other, be by each other's backs, and just be that family, like Jim said, like Northeastern community is. It's a family, and we're all here for every inductee here. We're all in the same boat. We're just one family, and it's beautiful.
A great teammate, a champion here at Northeastern, and tonight a Hall of Famer. One last time, a big hand for Chris Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And we now turn our attention back to the big screen for our next inductee.
Congratulations, Jimmy, for being inducted into Northeastern Athletics Hall of Fame. I must have met Jimmy our sophomore year in 1957 during indoor spring football practice, but frankly, everyone was a blur as we were both walk-ons fighting to make the team.
Our paths did not cross that much. But I was very much aware, him being a teacher and a coach, great athlete.
I looked up to Jimmy as being more mature with a larger-than-life personality. As the seasons grew and passed by, he grew to be our leader on the field and in the locker room. Jimmy loved the game. His enthusiasm and positive approach was infectious.
He came to Northeastern in 57, 58, 59 seasons, and in 58 led all the New England quarterbacks in passing percentage. In 1959, he was named the team MVP. So he continued his athletic skill, his prowess to the nth degree.
Jimmy never really got rattled that I could see. He was always calm and positive. He had talent, surely. He had good height for a quarterback. But the things that didn't show up much was the way he kept us loose and focused in the locker room.
I would attribute Jim's success because that just comes out. His dedication, his devotion to the sport, and he shared this at a recent event that we had. He was more concerned about the development of the player as a person. Skilled in football, yes, but more importantly, making them a better person.
He had a joke about everybody and always a positive comment.
So football has played a tremendous role in Jim's life, and Northeastern has been the beneficiary of it for the 28 years that he was a coach and administrator and the 3 years that he played. So Northeastern has benefited from Jim Hennessy for 31 years.
Sports was his life. This is an athletics Hall of Fame. I can't think of anyone more deserving.
I'll tell you, there is nothing put on about Jim Hennessy. What you see is what you get. Hardworking, honest, dedicated coach, teacher, father, husband, just a quality person.
So I like to do my research, and I would advise any of you, if you haven't done some research on Coach Hennessy, to just Google his name, and you'll see that just last year, he got a rousing send-off after 63 years as an umpire in softball and baseball. Imagine that, 63 years. Well-deserved adulation then, as well as tonight. And I'll start you off with, Northeastern blood pumps through your veins. So what does this university mean to you?
Tom, I sat in this auditorium 67 years ago, this past fall. I was a transfer student from the University of Massachusetts. I lived in Brookline, right near the field. I wanted to come home. And I got my freshman schedule right here in this auditorium. My freshman English teacher was Gene Blackman, after which this auditorium is named. And this university gave me so much, taught me so much. I think of my coaches. I think of the coaches I worked for. Bo, Judy is here tonight, his wife and his two daughters, Meg and Tracy. 9 years, and then I stayed on with Paul. Paul Pollock, a good man, a good coach. I wasn't here with Barry. I had long since retired. But, you know, I've been a friend of Barry's for 50 years. And tonight, I think of my teammates. It's a long time ago. Many have met their eternal reward, and tonight sleep in peace in heaven. I was so close to them, friendly with them. In the 19 years I spent coaching, Tom, I coached on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. And someone once asked me what my coaching philosophy was, and it was simple. I tried to treat everybody, whoever came in contact with dignity and respect. To me, it didn't make any difference if you were a first teamer or a third stringer. You deserved a fair shake. And so many players I see here tonight, I thank for coming. Thank you for coming. And I think, you know, the assistant coaches I worked with, Jerry Shea, Bobby Tufts, Emerson Dickey, Jackie Freeman, lifelong friends. But it all started right here in this auditorium 67 years ago. I have a large family. They're all here, not all of them, but a number of them. Carol in the front row, 63 years, 24 children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
Collectively.
I have 6 great kids who take great care of their mother and father as they enter their, I don't know what you'd call them, senior years. Kathy, Jimmy, Beth, Jane, Timmy, and Andrew. Grandkids are here tonight. Let's see, Maggie, who works here at the university, is here. Patrick, Christopher, Matthew, Timmy. I probably have forgotten one or two of them, I don't know. But all my experiences here, Tom, were good. As I say, it started right here in this room 67 years ago.
Incredible. So you may not have as much pep in your step as you walked up, you said that, but you certainly have a lot of energy, and you tonight are a well-deserved Hall of Famer. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Jim Hennessy. Enjoy your night. And now our next Hall of Famer.
The 2 words that come to mind when I think of Madison when she was here, uncompromising and consistent.
Being near Madison made you feel confident and made you feel like you could do more than you probably thought you could.
She's just a natural leader. And I think one of the components like that makes her that natural leader is just the magnetism that she has.
She had this certain kind of tenacity about her, like no matter what was happening, you know, winning, losing, it didn't really matter. She kind of put her head down and did the work.
She really served as a rock for the team. You know, you find a lot of athletes who are extremely talented or who work extremely hard, but I think the ones that find even more success are the ones who can kind of radiate that confidence out to others around them on the team.
You know, when you're getting to the room with someone and they just ooze this light almost, and you want to be close to them, that's her. And no matter what, whether it was seat racing, she just always wanted to make everyone better than they even knew that they could be, and she always led by example.
Being an alum is a huge part of what pushes a program forward, and she's a part of the history now of the team, and I think shows the current athletes like this is what you're capable of. These are the people that came before you.
So if you're a national team athlete and you've graduated from university, you literally make training your full-time job. You're training 6 to 8 hours a day. Someone who's in college, we're only allowed to train them 4 hours a day. And they only really have time to do that. So she made the most out of every stroke, for every weight she lifted, every ergometer piece that she did to the absolute best of her ability. And she made sure that she was bringing everyone else along with her. She wanted to win. She wanted to go fast.
It's about so much more than just being a great rower. There's a lot of components to it, and I feel like she really set the foundation to show that the sky's the limit. And if you believe in yourself and dedicate yourself to your team and those around you and your discipline, like, your options for success are limitless.
That combination of just massive success and talent alongside her kindness and positivity is just a really incredible combination and a big part of Madison's recipe for success.
She continued to train at the boathouse and, had won 2 world championships already as an undergrad here. And got a silver medal at a third. But she was able to take the time to really be a role model for the younger athletes on our team.
I think she just showed that coming to Northeastern, you can be really successful both at the university, on the rowing team, and still pursue things later on. And those are the kind of athletes that come to be a Husky.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage former Northeastern women's rowing standout, Olympic gold medalist, and Northeastern Athletics Hall of Fame member, Madison Maley. Okay, Madison, so from where you grew up, what did you possibly know about the history and tradition of Northeastern rowing?
Absolutely nothing. I knew of the Head of the Charles Regatta, which I hope many of you know in this room. I came out to compete, and I heard of this school, Northeastern, and I thought we should probably come check it out. And met Joe Wilhelm, who's the current head coach, who you heard speak kindly of me. Thank you, Joe. And I instantly felt the family that Northeastern is. And I loved the campus. I love Boston. And when I met the team a few months later, I knew it was going to be my home for the next 4.5 years.
Was there a moment when you thought or even knew that you could be an Olympic caliber athlete?
I think I consistently fell into it in the sense of I just kept working hard, and then the opportunity would present itself. I would say one moment that stands out to me was when the Olympics was postponed in 2020. We had an ergometer workout, and I don't know if you guys have been on the death erg machine before, but it's pretty tough. And our coach said, okay, you're going to do 5 2Ks, and you're going to take 40 minutes between each piece so that you're fully rested. And I did the first piece, I did okay. I did the second piece, I didn't do as well, and kind of went from there. And then that evening, my coach said, Madison, you never sent in your times. And I said, oh, that's because I didn't do very well. And she said, did you do all 5 pieces? And I said, yeah, I finished all 5. And she said, you are the only person who finished all 5 pieces, Madison, you psycho. And I said, you told me to do it, so I did it. But I think that's where she said, you gotta start believing in yourself and really see yourself as one of those top players on the water.
So I'm always intrigued when I speak with someone who was on the rowing team. I want to have you describe those early mornings, those early wake-up calls, and what it's like to be out on the Charles River and training.
Well, some of my roommates are in this room, so they would have seen me on those early mornings, but it's definitely a grind. I'm going out to practice tomorrow and hopefully dragging a few alumni with me, but you know, the bus leaves campus at 5:45 a.m. every day, and you got to make every stroke worth it. And that's easy to say when it's nice outside and it's sunny and it's summertime, but you make it really count on those days where you don't want to be there, and when it's rainy and when it's cold and someone splashes you and ice freezes on your back. So it's a pretty cutthroat experience. I didn't really expect that when I signed up for Northeastern, the snow and the cold, but But yeah, it makes you tough.
The Olympic experience was so unique for any Olympic athlete. Obviously, 2020 was postponed to 2021. That's when you won your gold medal. But you told me earlier this evening that your team also encountered an unbelievable obstacle just 40 days out of the Olympics. Take people through that story.
Yeah, so we got named to the Olympic team only 40 days before the games. And so before then, you're saying, I don't know if I'm going. I'm just working hard every day and hoping for the best. Then we got named to the team. So excited. My family was excited. My friends were excited. And we go on a training camp up to Strathcona. And the first day we're selected as a boat, we get in a tragic bike accident. 3 of my teammates smashed into the pavement. 1 broke her clavicle and got 56 stitches all over her body, and the other 2 were severely concussed. So, the Olympics were postponed, and then this bad accident, and, we really thought what else could go wrong. But we ended up in Japan. The girl who broke her clavicle and got hurt made her way back into the boat, seat raced back in the day before going into the Olympic Village, and then obviously won an Olympic gold medal alongside me. And so it was quite a story of resilience, and I think that resilience muscle got pretty strong through the sport of rowing, but all the rowers in the room today would say that.
I'm going to leave you with this. You had the opportunity to speak twice at commencement ceremonies in Canada after you won your gold medal, and you said in one of them, Northeastern University attracts a very specific type of individual, someone who is kind, curious, brave, and wants to be a difference maker in their respective field. Have courage, stay humble, and be kind. So I want to ask you how those characteristics really come to life on a campus like Northeastern, and how do you continue to represent Northeastern internationally?
Thank you. So I did have the privilege of speaking at both of the Canadian Northeastern campuses, and it gave me an opportunity to really reflect on my time here at Northeastern. And, sure, I was a good athlete. I won a gold medal. I was good on the team here. But really, this school opened so many doors for me with going to business school, with doing a co-op, with getting to sing at the New England Conservatory of Music. I got to do it all here, and Boston's a city that offers that, and Northeastern just cultivates that in every student. So I think that we have a family here at Northeastern. Treasure those relationships, and thank you so much for tonight.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Maley, the latest Hall of Famer. I'll take the mic. Yeah, fantastic. And now let's turn our attention to the screen.
She was a hard worker on and off the field, and just extremely driven. And that's what you need, to believe that your team can get to that point, to a Final Four again. She was key in that happening for us.
Kind of being around Jen was like having another coach, another teacher, another mom, honestly. She just was really welcoming to the freshman group as a whole, and really welcomed us and helped to guide us.
She was very pleasant, very affable. So it was possible to be an outstanding athlete, an outstanding student, and also personable, which is a combination that's not that common.
She had this elitist attitude in a good way, and like I said, one of the brightest, most competitive people I've ever met. She still plays now, still plays field hockey. She came in and helped us make history, helped us to keep believing that Northeastern could be competitive nationally in field hockey.
When she played at Northeastern, we did go to a Final Four. She was one of the leaders of the team at that point.
But she picked us up again, and we, they had some good years in between. We went to NCAA tournaments and won conference championships, but that Final Four was always the goal, and Jen helped us to get to that level again.
She was a really vocal leader, and she kind of set expectations and standards for our team and for everybody that was around her, and I think that really helped with the success of our program.
I think that Jen was like a finishing piece to our team coming in. Just that, like I said, she was verbal, she was bright.
There's 2 parts of being an athlete at a university. One is to excel in the field. The other is to be at least an industrious student. She was more than an industrious student. She was excellent.
She was just committed all around to success in the classroom and on the field hockey field.
I did not know that she was a star athlete. I just knew that she was a very good student. When I found out she was an athlete, and a really good one, she did justice to the term student athlete.
You know, Jen takes pride in the success of the team as well. You know, the team did that. They were 21-3 and 8-0, and her stats were amazing. She had 12 shutouts. So when you have that kind of support, as you may know, goalkeeping is a key position in field hockey. Jen was the complete piece of our team for that year, and an incredible leader.
Just her level of confidence made me feel a lot more comfortable on the field hockey field. And then I do think like just seeing the way that she succeeded as a student athlete and some of the awards that she received academically, I was like, wow, that's, you know, something to strive for.
And I'm not surprised the athletic department supported her for Hall of Fame, because she's, in my eyes, of Hall of Fame caliber.
She was very calm, and just having that presence behind you, I think, just that calm like leadership, knowing that she would be there for me, that helped.
Pleasant, smart, good athlete, good candidate for a Hall of Fame award.
Yeah, I still think that Northeastern Field Hockey has this belief that they can be successful nationally. I think that's what Jen did for us.
Clearly, like all of her awards that she received, you know, just demonstrated her contribution to Northeastern Field Hockey and in turn her induction into the Northeastern Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former field hockey star and Northeastern Athletics Hall of Famer Jen Ruggiero-Rowe to the stage. So happy we get the chance to talk, because I always want to know, I want to get inside the mind of a goalkeeper. So you have the opportunity as a young woman, a young girl probably, to start your field hockey career. What convinced you that you wanted to be a goalkeeper?
Probably the fact my sister was a leading scorer, center forward, and I knew I wasn't going to compete with that. But seriously, I had a coach in high school that said, I think that you would be a good candidate for it. Why don't you give it a shot? You have some qualities. Probably because I was loud, spoke a lot.
So a couple years ago, we honored the 1988 team. Is anybody from that 1988 team here? Yes, we have at least one, I know. And that was the first Northeastern field hockey team that went to the Final Four. You were on the second Northeastern field hockey team that went to the Final Four. How aware were you of that success, and how much of an impact might that have had on your decision to come here?
It definitely had a lot. I think that the 88 team was University of Pennsylvania. I think I started driving and going to field hockey Final Fours from the Philadelphia area, and there's a lot of field hockey there. So drove to pretty much every one until I went to college, and wanted to play in the Olympics. Tough to follow before, but I think that knowing that Northeastern had success, and I think it's interesting too with like a goalkeeper position, sometimes they don't need one, right? Or they do need one, or it's a little bit specialized. So I knew that there was the opportunity here, and then really just drawn to the academics, the co-op program, and Boston. So.
When you're on a team that you kind of look around the locker room and you say, well, we're pretty good. When did you feel like your team might have a legitimate shot at making a run towards a national title?
I think, and as the other inductees have said before, Northeastern's a special place, and the challenges that you encounter, like thinking our field was in Brookline, right? So we had to, take a van to practice every day, and those things are not like normal for necessarily every, college athlete. And so the resiliency, the challenges, and the stick-to-itiveness that the, team has, knew that we would be able to accomplish that. And as long as we were in the game, being in a conference that had, an automatic bid, knowing if we could get there, play in that game, we'd have an opportunity, give us a chance, and giving us a chance was really all we needed.
Yeah. So you're still active in field hockey. You've seen it change. It's not that long ago, but we're pushing almost 30 years. So what have you seen change in the sport that you like and don't like, perhaps?
Well, there's no more roll-in. There's no more offsides. You now can just start anywhere you want on the field. You don't have to hit a stationary ball. The equipment that I wore when I first started was heavy leather. Now they have this rebound stuff that the ball just hits you and goes. And so it's certainly also the speed of the game has increased. I think that anyone who's not a huge fan, you probably heard a lot of whistles at a game. There's less whistles or fewer whistles. The speed has increased. The surface is better. We don't really play on lumpy grass anymore. So it's definitely been exciting.
That's good. You love it. Obviously, congratulations, our newest Hall of Famer, Jen Rowe.
Thank you very much.
And now we turn our attention to the screen.
The first time I met Kendall was actually at a USA camp, and she was, I think, 15, was blown away by her talent, her ability. Everybody wanted Kendall Coyne to play at their schools.
When she stepped foot on campus in fall of 2011, I think she changed Northeastern women's hockey forever. She put that program on the map to be a very, very, very high caliber program for pretty much the foreseeable future.
Her numbers were unbelievable, and over a course of 4 years, to achieve that goal was really hard.
And her goal score was not only the games that they won 12-2, it's when they won 1-0. She got the big point at the big time, stole the puck. She got the pass or the assist or dug the puck out of the corner to really rise the program to a different level with her hard work.
She is competitive in everything she does. Every drill in practice, every small game was a competition, and I think that's what makes her Kendall Coyne. That's why she's as good as she is.
Kendall does everything fast. She skates fast. She walks fast. She certainly talks fast. But at the end of the day, she can slow things down, look people in the eye, and get them to recognize that whatever they're doing, their actions, they can help promote each other. That's her leadership skill that I remember her having from the day I met her.
She came to me when she was a captain and said, there's some things I think we really need to change. And so I listened to her, we talked about it. I learned a lot as a coach with her as our captain, and I think our leadership group has gotten stronger and stronger every year since then.
She never pushed hockey. She pushed women's sports. She pushed credibility for women, and she was a leader all through the department.
Most people who know her off the ice, and even those who don't, she just sets a good example to be a good person. She's always giving back to her community, but that's not something she does because she's an Olympian. That's something that she's always done. She raised the bar for everybody.
She's a good person. People see that in her. She's so genuine about who she is, and being so comfortable in her own skin, people are just naturally attracted to that energy and that kindness.
You can look at all the records she broke, all the points she had, all the different things that she's achieved on the ice. I think even more importantly is what she's done for our program. I look at where we were when she came here and where we are now, and she was a big part of that.
Obviously, the Hall of Fame it's about the athlete. With Kendall, there's so much more to that than just her as a hockey player. So I think that her hockey skill speaks for itself. She's one of the best players in the world. She was the captain of how many Olympic teams, and even, when she retires down the road, she's always going to have an impact on the game, and she'll always have an impact on Northeastern's program.
Why Northeastern? Go back to that day when you decided that Northeastern was the right spot for you.
Well, there were many reasons, and you heard from Coach Flint. Coach Flint was a big part of the reason, and going through the recruiting process. there were a lot of options, which I was very thankful for. But when talking to Coach Flynn, I got a sense of, the care beyond hockey. You're not just a hockey player, you're a person, and we're going to make you a better person and a better hockey player. And I saw that through 4 years. And then in addition to that, it was everything that Northeastern has to offer in addition to hockey, the co-op program, getting my bachelor's, getting my master's, and just the overall experience. And the city of Boston, it's not home, but it reminds me a little bit of Chicago. So just when you come on campus, I'm sure a lot of people in the room had a similar feel. You walk on campus and you're like, this is the place I belong.
So what was the key, do you think, to your success here? What was the biggest contributor to you being able to realize your goals?
I think it's just working hard and never really being satisfied. I think when we came in, Northeastern didn't make an NCAA championship, and it was having that goal in mind. And it took all 4 years to do it, or 5, but by my last year, being able to make it to the NCAA tournament. And obviously, I know there's some current Huskies in the room, and they've carried on the torch and have gone big time, is how you could describe it, big time. So that was pretty cool. But I think it's just setting goals and doing everything I can day in and day out to accomplish those goals.
So Kendall authored a book. The book's title is As Fast as Her, Dream Big, Break Barriers, Achieve Success. That concept of dreaming big, where did that first resonate for you?
I think part of it is, I was kind of told I was always small, and sometimes too small. And I always say to kids, you don't need to be big to dream big. And I hope that throughout my career I can be an example of that. No matter whatever dream it is that you have, you can accomplish it with the right work ethic, with the right attitude, the right mindset. And I truly believe that. And that's kind of where the dream big comes from.
Before you were here, while you were here, after you were here, obviously you were very active with the U.S. women's national team. I've encountered a lot of athletes who have that experience and are able to bring some of the lessons they learned from the national team back to their college teammates. Can you think of some things that you learned from the national program that made Northeastern a better hockey program?
Yeah, I think with the national program, it's every day. And your spot's not guaranteed. Every roster you have to make, every camp you have to make. Doesn't matter if you've been there 15 years, 1 year, this is your first camp. Nothing's guaranteed. So you gotta have that mindset and put in the work that it takes to put on that jersey night in and night out. And it's not easy. So it's kind of that's the same mindset that I had coming in here.
I think back to the 2018 gold medal game against Canada, which I would guess is among the highlights of your life. And could you get the sense of how unified the fan base was here in the United States, watching that game late at night as you were playing for the gold medal? Did you understand how much it meant to everybody back home?
I will say, though, I think I've enjoyed watching those BU wins a lot.
I love it.
I like that. I miss seeing those. Right, Coach Flint? I don't know where he's at. But yeah, no, when we came back home, it was awesome to see the support, just the overall awareness. A lot of, that game, that 2018 game was one of the most watched events in the 2018 Olympics, which speaks to the growth of the sport. And so to come back, we went on a little post-Olympic tour on some talk shows and things of that nature. So it was really cool to see just people talking about women's hockey and to continue to talk about it, and not just talking about it every 4 years when the Olympics rolls around, because the players are working day in and day out. It's just we haven't always received the proper platform to showcase the game, and so I think that's improved over since 2018.
And even in the short amount of time since you left, which was after the 2016 season when you were named the Patty Kazmaier Award winner, you've seen growth to the point that Northeastern is a consistent presence in the NCAA tournament, which is fantastic, but also the Beanpot this year, going to be TD Garden.
It only took 46 years.
And it's about time.
It's well overdue.
It is about time. What advice do you give to the current Northeastern hockey players?
Enjoy it. I think I saw Alina in the room, Murph in the room, my roommates Chelsea and Ann are in the room. We've all walked across the stage. We've graduated. Obviously, we have the historical 87, 88 team in the room. We've all walked across that stage, and I think if you asked any one of us, we'd go back in a heartbeat if they give us an extra year. And not for COVID, but just an extra year. If we can go back, we'd go back in a heartbeat. It goes by so quick. I think, sometimes the days are long, the road trips are long. You'll have an exam or finals or whatever it may be, and it's extremely stressful. You'll get through it, and you'll look back and just remember those road trips. Remember the game. I can't tell you the scores. I know when we beat BU, but I can't. Yeah. I don't remember all the scores of the game. You remember the road trips. You remember, moments like this. Your classes. The people that have had an impact on you. And there's so many people here in this room that have had an impact on me. And I'm so thankful for all of you. I know there's a lot of you here, but I think just to enjoy every day. 4 years goes by so quick, and it's really the 4 of the greatest years of your life, and I miss it every day.
Congratulations. Enjoy tonight. Always welcome back here on campus. Kendall Coyne Schofield, the latest Hall of Fame inductee.
When you're trying to create standards and you're trying to create a culture, and guys like Joe just do it naturally, despite what's going on around them, you know that you've got a chance to really lead that team out of the shadows into some notoriety.
I've met Joe when we were real little, playing like might squirt hockey. They used to beat us all the time at 8 goals. I was on the worst team, he was on the best team.
He was a quiet leader, but he always went about things the right way. When one of your best players is also one of your hardest workers, then everyone else on the team kind of sees that and they follow right in line.
Joe's quiet. He just did his work, and he led by example. Every practice, he was the hardest working guy on the ice. Even we had some older guys that, were part of the transition, and they knew right away that Joe was unique in terms of his compete and his work habit.
That was Joe Vitale, is that he didn't have to do a lot of talking. People just respected him and looked up to him for the way he worked off and on the ice.
Obviously, Northeastern hockey now is, in a good place, and you think about kind of where that traces back to, and I think it traces back to Joe.
I think Joe Vitale is a huge proponent to where it is today. The player he is, the person he is, and the people that Northeastern attracts now, I feel like are similar to Joe.
He finished checks. He took hits. He went through the middle of the ice and he got hit. Went to the front of the net. He did all the things that you need players to do that are going to represent, personify that blue collar image.
I feel like the person he is who Northeastern is recruiting now.
Anybody could go to a game, whether we had one win in January or the next year we were around 500, and say who was number 26. Right? Joe was 26, and I've coached thousands of players, and I know Joe's 26.
He was a leader right off the bat. You can just tell by his persona, how he handles himself every day, day in, day out. This guy's just a warrior. He's a leader. He's a guy that you wanted to be around all the time. We always call him Joey V. Funny guy. Always cracked a smile on people's faces. He has that big smile, so it's always good.
He is more than deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, and someone that everyone at Northeastern can be proud of, to be someone who was there at the beginning and helped get the program to where it is now.
The guy is he's just an A+ guy, great father, great person. I think he is Northeastern hockey, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former men's ice hockey great and now Northeastern Athletics Hall of Famer, Joey Vitale. So Joey and I had a chance to meet each other earlier, and he's from St. Louis. He's now currently the color analyst for the St. Louis Blues radio broadcast, and I had the opportunity to quickly meet his mom and dad before the reception, and his wife. They made the trip. Your 5 kids did not, though. So you've been busy.
That was
with your wife.
strategic, by the way.
But congratulations. Your family means a lot to you, and obviously this means a lot to your family. So walk me through how you're feeling tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, first of all, just getting a break from my 5 kids. My wife and I have never slept so much. We had these plans of like walking through Boston and hitting all the sites. We have literally not left the bed for multiple reasons. But so I met my wife. She was, I broke the 2 rules. I had a lot of advice coming to Northeastern my freshman year, and people had 2 rules. Said, do not date your freshman year. Don't find someone your freshman year, and never ever count on meeting your spouse at a bar. And I broke both those rules. I met my wife, Brianna, January of my freshman year, and we met at Connor Larkin's, which was a bar across the street. Sure, we got a lot of Connor Larkin's fans out there. But I broke both those rules, so yeah, I met Brianna there and at Northeastern. My parents here tonight. Mary Ann's my mom, who's a saint, and my dad, who got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer 9 months ago. We didn't think he was going to make it here tonight, so he's in the building as well.
Great to have you here. When I was looking through your bio, what jumped out to me is that you were named one year the best defensive forward. At the NHL, they call that the Selke Trophy. So that takes a certain mindset too, kind of similar to like, how did you become a goalkeeper? How important was that to you to be someone who played up front but played defense so well? And how much of a difference can that make on your team?
Yeah, Tom, that's a good question. I remember Greg Cronin, who you saw up there, and now he's doing a fantastic job with the Anaheim Ducks. He took me in his office, mid-freshman year. And, one thing about Greg, and this is why people love him, he's got so much honesty and conviction in his coaching. He said, he had that heavy Boston accent. He's like, listen, brother, you're not going to be a goal scorer, and he started basically ripping me apart, like, you're undersized, you're underskilled, And what his point was that if you want to make it to the next level and you want to play in the National Hockey League, you got to find your niche. You got to find what you're gifted at. And he said, I watch you play, and I think you're a strong defender, and you got to commit to just never being outworked. Like every night, that's got to be your goal. Is like you are going to be the hardest working guy on the ice, and you always want someone to say who was number 26. So that's kind of the advice I got from Greg all those years ago. And again, it was a humble meeting, but at the same time, I think a very direct and an honest one.
But even before that, and this is some good advice, I think, to any athlete who's going through it right now, you're going to face obstacles, clearly. You know that better than anyone else. But you thought perhaps you might be at the end of the line even before Northeastern called.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I just played my junior year hockey at Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and it was a quick year. And I was wanting to go to BC. I wanted to go to Minnesota. I had these high hopes to play at these big schools, and had my junior coaches reach out and try to figure out how that would work. And at the end of my one and only year junior, no one called. And I remember coming home from Sioux Falls with my mom, and she was like, what's the next step? I was like, listen, I'm going to turn 19 here soon. It's probably time to get moving with my life. So I came back to St. Louis and started just thinking, what's the next step? Where do you go to college? What job do I get? And Greg Cronin called me in like mid-July. And 4 weeks later, I'm coming to campus with my mom to move into Light Hall. And I was such a late recruit. I ended up going to Light Hall, which with like these Ford surfer dudes from California. Like they didn't even have a spot for me, and Greg's brand new in the position, so he didn't understand how this all worked out. But so yeah, I went from wanting to maybe not play anymore to Greg calling me, and then of course, it's been a wonderful career since.
Hockey's such a tight-knit community from college to the pro level, and you get to still travel around North America covering the game you love, but you get to do it with your chest puffed out a little bit because of the success of Northeastern hockey. How has that changed for you over the course of the now 14 years since you left here?
Well, yeah, listen, it was amazing. Like my freshman year, I was talking to the group who dressed the team today. We won 3 games my freshman year, and it was really, really tough. There was some humbling years and humbling times, but you see the way the team continued to build. We saw Brad Thiessen was a terrific goaltender. He was a huge amount of the success. But going from 3 games and winning 12 our sophomore year, and then we built to 20, and then we made the tournament senior year. And now the Northeastern Hockey department, huge credit to Jim Madigan and all the wonderful coaches that have come there since Crow. It's a powerhouse. It used to be a bottom feeder team where people who didn't want to go to BC, Harvard, BU. Now it's like arguably competing with those 3 top schools. And I give so much credit to my teammates and Greg Cronin. Without him, I wouldn't have become the player I was today. And just the wonderful teammates I had. We had such a tight, wonderful group. We built our relationship so deep and so strong, and we would be at Connor Larkin's every Friday night, hanging out together, win or loss, and that's what made it a great team. And I think that you look at the different teams I've been a part of, that's certainly the root and the foundation of every good team is just the quality of the relationships you have with each other.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy this time away from your 5 kids, but they'll be very happy to see you when you come home. And enjoy this night. Congrats.
Thank you.
And now back to the screen.
I don't think any of us knew what kind of season was ahead of us. What we definitely knew was that there was an energy among these players that was different than what we maybe have had experienced in the past.
If I think about my 4 years playing at Northeastern, every year we got better. And so, this was the year that we also won the ECAC. It was the first time that Northeastern had won it.
We didn't set out to be undefeated. And next thing you know, we're coming into the final games and realizing, whoa, wait a second, this is special, not just off the ice and on the ice, but this is on paper special.
There's a lot of mental aspects to going undefeated and not only carrying it through the season, but then taking it through the playoffs. So it takes a lot of not only skill, unity, but grit, determination.
When it came to playing on the ice, everybody stepped up. We always played together.
We really went into it with, we want to win this. We weren't afraid to lose. We went in with the thought that we've been doing this all year and we want to win, and we know we can play together to win.
In our world and our being, it was our national championship. We were the best in college hockey.
Coach McLeod was instrumental in me coming to Northeastern, and certainly most of the players that played for him wanted to play at Northeastern. They wanted to play for Coach McLeod.
He did everything. He did all the recruiting, all the coaching, all the management.
Northeastern invested in the program before it was cool to invest in women's hockey. Jean and Chris Burns, the 2 athletic directors, they taught me that women can participate in sport and have their own game, and we don't have to be anybody else's game. It doesn't have to compare with the men's game. It doesn't have to be compared with any other sport.
I actually have goosebumps. I mean, that is really the most exciting part. And so yes, there were many talented players and coaches and people that dedicated their full lives to women's ice hockey just purely for the love of a game.
Creating a space where women could excel as athletes and as people and feel like they were world class.
And so those are things that I think are fitting to put a team into the Hall of Fame.
The energy that the team brought to the program, though, I think is the big one. This was a program that was going to not just win, but produce decent human beings.
So just look at the timing of my life to be able to walk in to have the opportunity that I had here at Northeastern in this league, in the conference.
When I realized that a lot of us stayed in touch, I thought, yeah, that explains things. We had an energy that's special.
It's really nice to be going into the hall as a team. It's definitely a we, and a very strong we that we are.
They're almost all here. We invite now the members of the 1987-88 women's ice hockey team to join us on the stage and receive the team plaque. The ECAC champions, 26-0-1 in 1987-88. Four members are already individually enshrined, but rightfully this team gets their very well-deserved moment in the spotlight tonight. Excellent. We're joined now by Tina Cardinal-Boschman and Margie Sanford-Burke, who are going to represent the squad. No pressure, ladies. But you're used to being in leadership positions. You know, we got a chance to talk earlier tonight, and the first thing I said is, you know, doing my research, I'm looking back, 88. There was no national rankings at that time. There was no NCAA tournament at that time. There was no real way to know, you know, who's the best team in the country. But then I had some other conversations, ladies, after the one I had with you, and they said, oh yeah, if you won the ECAC, you were the best team in the country. Is that the way you looked at it back then?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So what was it that was special about your team? And take us through that moment when you knew that, hey, we got something cooking here.
All night tonight, everybody's been talking about family, and I don't want to throw that around easily, but our team was a family. There was no hierarchy on our team. There were no egos. We just played for a common goal, and we enjoyed being around each other, and we just wanted to win.
Well, you were a big part of that. Tina had 59 points in 27 games. Do the math on that. Pretty impressive.
But I only had those points because of my teammates around me.
And she was a good teammate, obviously. But when you faced, I think you said UNH was probably your biggest rival then, right?
Yep.
So when you took the ice against UNH and you're defending what was an undefeated record, Margie, tell me what the pressure was like taking the ice for those games.
So I think, you know, like someone said on the video, when we started out, we didn't realize what the season was, what was going to come of the season. And that time that we played UNH, we tied them. And I think it was at that point we realized what we had done and what we had accomplished, and we just did not want to lose that game. And we managed to get through it with a tie.
I also had a great conversation during the cocktail reception with one of your teammates who said, you know, Northeastern supported us a lot back then. You got your rings, you were recognized. It was important to develop a program. Did you get the sense during that time that the program was embraced and was at that point of developing?
No. Okay, I have to say that we were really inspired by our coaches, Coach McLeod and Coach Moran. They worked a full-time job, so this was not a full-time job for them. And what they did to create our team, and they had to go to their job and then come and do practice with us and be inspirational. And the support, so the support was different. We didn't have full scholarships like they have today. Mm-hmm. So what they had to do to, I think Coach McLeod was the first coach to have our international Canadian recruits come for the program. So that was pivotal, I think, to our hockey program.
Margie, what do you think now when you watch the team? When you watch women's hockey in general, what goes through your mind? Yeah.
What do I think when I watch it now? It's amazing how much it's grown. Everything about it, from the way it's filmed. I think our team, I think it was our junior year, played in the first game ever televised on Nesson, women's game, and it was literally like one camera angle for the whole game, right? And it just made the game look so much slower than it was. And now when you watch a game, if you watch the national team or a Division I college game, it's completely different. It's come so far.
Well, I think Ruth is the only one who's not here, right? Almost everybody. Ruth is the only player who's not here. Yeah. Ruth apparently has an excuse. She's in India, but I highly recommend that you FaceTime her and include her in this celebration. Congratulations. Well deserved. The 87-88 women's hockey team, Northeastern Hall of Famers. And now for our final group of enshrinees.
Well, the program was getting better. You know, I had been there since 1973, 74. We had a combination of a lot of good things and good kids.
We always knew that we had talented people, and we had always talked to them about, you know, the goal of going to the NCAAs, but not just getting there, winning.
We beat Penn State at Penn State that year, and we're just going to a full-fledged Division I at that time. We beat UMass. We beat some teams that theoretically normally would have beaten us, but the season was, everything came together. It just took a little while longer, which made us even better near the end.
We could press anybody, and we knew we could play against most teams in the country and, win. And that's the kind of confidence they had in each other. And that's why they're friends all their lives, because they created such a bond.
Honestly, it was a great basketball game. Holy Cross was a big name. Their point guard had a foul shot to put the thing away. Well, he missed. We got the rebound. Jabraka got it to a guy named Perry Moss. When that shot went in 55 feet, swish, they say it sounded like an explosion at the old Cabot Gym.
Moss, 2 seconds. One at the buzzer. Midcourt shot is good. It's good. Perry Moss from midcourt. Perry Moss from midcourt sends the game into overtime. The greatest shot ever in Northeastern history. And everybody has collapsed onto the floor. I don't believe it. Perry Moss from midcourt ties the game at 75. It's the miracle of Cabot Gym. We'll remember this moment forever.
We were so happy about the victory because we knew what it meant for the school, for all of us who had been, struggling to make the program move forward for so long as players.
This would rival anything I've ever been involved with in basketball. It was one of the more special celebrations. And you know what? It was a great celebration on Huntington Avenue. It really was. It was a moment in time, and it really was really special for us. Looking ahead now, what's happened to Northeastern and how that university has grown. It was a magical moment.
They started it all for this era of basketball. Northeastern had a winning tradition in Division II basketball. And so this team really started the winning tradition in Division I basketball. This team was the catalyst for it. And they believed back when no one else believed in the prowess of Northeastern basketball.
There's no question. I think it's one of the foundations in Northeastern sports that helped us get to where we are today.
Just incredible human beings who really cared about each other. Top down on that roster, they care about each other. These guys were something else.
We'll talk a bit more about it as we discuss it with the players and Coach Calhoun, but this team went to the NCAA tournament and beat Fresno State and then advanced to the second round and faced Utah. And the talent on those teams we'll talk about was very impressive, so quite a run. We would also like to recognize the family members of Chip Rucker who are here with us tonight, joining the team on Chip's behalf. And we'd also like to thank Steve Berkowitz and Paul Porter, whose voices you heard on the video, for being here in attendance and for their very important coverage of this team during the 1980 and 81 season. All right, we are joined by Coach Calhoun, Pete Harris, and Perry Moss on the stage. Pete, first of all, I met you earlier tonight, and you said you had not been back on campus since 1990. So, long time. So let's welcome him back. I know it's been a long time since many of the players have been back. Coach, I'm going to start with you. Because you leave Dedham High School after 1972, and you start building a base. I mean, it took 7 years until this team made this big splash in 80-81. So how did you keep the faith? How did you know you were building something in the right direction?
Well, the greatest thing I heard tonight is that Northeastern's a special place. It attracts special people. And I very simply would say this. I could have stayed at Northeastern forever, but I think at the end there's some biggie stuff and a little ego involved and that type of thing. But no, this is a special place. And when I finally got what we wanted, and I learned from my guys, as they hopefully learned something from me, it wasn't just, and I heard Keith say it, it wasn't just their ability, and these two guys could play as well as any backcourt in the country, trust me, but the people they were. To this day, it was just a few days ago that this happened. I hear from these guys, talk to these guys, we're a family. We don't always see each other always, but we're always there with each other. And that helped us fight our way through, beat major college teams, and then go on to do something that we hadn't done at that time. Division I, beat a great Fresno State team with Rod Higgins, and then lose to a Utah team. But that established a lot of things that UConn's gone on, and not only have they run with it, they jumped with it too.
I hope my number's correct. I believe you went to 23 NCAA tournaments. Is that right? I think it's right. If it's not, it's close, right? Something along those lines.
Well, if you said under, I would have corrected you.
Okay. My point is, in life, you never forget your first kiss. And this team brought Coach Calhoun to the NCAA tournament for the first time.
But I'll say this 1,000 times over, and I know my wife Pat's there. I could have stayed here forever. The school was great. The names you mentioned, from Jack Renauld and a lot of people in the audience here, see Henderson, and see all the different people here. This is a special place. And the guys I had, and then Reggie came, and then all the great players, and there was all a thing at Northeastern. Someone said to me, the greatest thing you can judge a school by, if they don't want to win as much as you, as a coach, want to win, you're going the wrong place. Well, Northeastern wanted to win in every way, which is a great thing.
Okay, guys, your turn now. A quick story, though. In 2005, when Coach Calhoun was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, I was in Detroit, and Rip Hamilton was playing for the Pistons at the time, and they wanted, we got a call saying that, can you get some of the guys to talk about the coach? And Rip told a great story, which I'm sure you can probably attest to. Rip said, yeah, I was in high school in Pennsylvania, and this really nice, loving, warm guy came down and was showing me all that love and telling me how great I was. And then I showed up in stores, and I don't know where that guy went. So my point is, how much of the Coach Calhoun that brought the tough love back in that 1980-81 season?
Who wants to go first? You want to go, Pete?
Go ahead,
Because I'm liable to say anything. And my teammates know, but go ahead.
Well, Coach Calhoun was extremely tough. It was so tough that during the off season, we played what they call coaches against the players. Coach Calhoun did not want to lose. So of course, I got one of my moves that I used to get fouled and go to the line. He practiced it very well. In other words, he would just give you the pump fake and give you this to show you what he was doing.
One of my moments is freshman year, one of the players that you mentioned earlier is not here, is Chip Rucker, who passed away. Dear friend, and Chip was one of the main reasons why I went to Northeastern University. Big influencer. And, when you walked on campus, I want to say Coach was cool. When we started playing, I was so happy to be at a Division I school and in Northeastern, coming from Amherst, Massachusetts, that, I'm living a life. So one play, we were playing scrimmaging a Stoney or somebody, and we all played in pickup. Chip, Eric, Dave, the teammates, Russ, Bobby, Charlie, everybody. I love them, So we're playing at Stonehill, and I throw Chip a lob. And I'm thinking, it's fly, because Chip is an extraordinary athlete, can jump out the gym. I throw him a lob, and I'm just looking away, because I know he got a dunk, and we win it. So Chip, he just looks at the lob. He don't even jump. So before I can even yell at Chip, Coach Calhoun comes out of nowhere. What the? You think that this ain't no? If you want, you can get the. Yeah, hey. I'm sitting there petrified because, everything's black and white to me. So I'm like, my white man is coming at me. Am I gonna have to fight him? Am I gonna lose my scholarship? I was like, are you kidding me? I'm a freshman. I'm happy to be at Northeastern. So he comes all the way up on me, and of course he stopped because with Coach Calhoun, everything's a test, and it's an intelligent test. And it's an integrity test, and it's a gut test. It's a heart test, and you need that if you want to be a competitive athlete and go somewhere. So after he stopped, I'm deer in the headlights, and I look at Chip. I'm like, yo, I'm never gonna pass you the ball again. You're gonna have this crazy one and come and get me. I say, yo, Chip goes, it was a bad pass. I said. And then Chip's claim to fame was, I never passed him the ball until we played against Fresno in the NCAA game, and I passed him the ball, and Chip made the basket for us to win our first NCAA victory.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about that whole experience, because they win the conference championship in that unbelievable game, which, by the way, that would be a three-point winning shot today from half court. But when you're on the way to El Paso, right? No one's done this before. You've never done this before as a head coach. How did you get that team geared up to play a Fresno State team that was so good? 3 NBA players on that team.
Well, because they believed. They believed in each other. And that's all we talked about. Al McGuire, who's a good friend of mine, a better friend when I won more games, but initially he was a friend. And he said, directional schools don't win. I said, what's he talking about? But then I used all that education I had. Yeah, Northeast, I guess. Directional school. Right after the game, I walked up to him and said, by the way, what direction are you going? Because we're going up.
Love it, love it.
My point being very simply, these are tough kids. And as it took, he said, 6-7 years to get the kind of kids, and I see it at Northeastern, and I see with the great players I've had. The one thing people have this misperception that all of a sudden a Kimball Walker or Ray Allen, some of the guys I coached after that are the only guys that care or the only guys who can play. That is so far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. These guys wanted to win and take advantage of that moment like you wouldn't believe. And they won the game because whatever I asked them to do, I remember that night holding the ball against Fresno and things, they did. That's how you win games. You win games with great talent, but you really win games with great people.
Yeah. Any advice you guys have for some of the current basketball players who you did have the opportunity? I think you met some of the guys today, right? Isn't that the case?
I would just say enjoy the 4 years at the school. Take the time to enjoy your teammates, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy the university. When we first came here, the university wasn't as diverse as it is now. And it's changed quite a bit. We came here with the mindset of, like Perry said, playing Division I basketball. When I came, I wanted to play Division I basketball. I wanted to go somewhere where I would just play. I didn't necessarily want to do anything else. I just wanted to play, be the best player I could be. A lot of these guys came, Eric, Chip, Perry, Mark, Big Luke, Dave, Charlie, Bobby, and we just became a family, My junior year, we went 19-8. We lost to Maine in the ECAC, I think it was semifinals or something. And we were so mad that we lost to them. We was like, there's no way in the world we were supposed to lose to them. So next year, we wanted to win. And yep, next year, here you go.
And I know so that's why he don't want to be around me. We didn't mention Jeff Gordon and the manager's phone, and Steve Burke was the announcer. If I hadn't heard something from Steve 3 years ago, it took me 3 years to find Steve Berkowitz. Steve, you should stand up, Steve Berkowitz. Stand up. Stand up. The family that we had was supremely orchestrated by Jim Calhoun. It was amazing when I look back on it, because in the moment, everyone is focused on just themselves and what they can do, and how he can take the collective and do it the way he does it is amazing, and it's a sacrifice to him. And no one's really said it, no one's really done it. Like a few years ago, I wanted to say, yo, Coach, I'm gonna tell you a story. When I thought I was gonna be a film producer and a director and all that didn't work. And Coach Calhoun let me down easy. He's like, Perry, thank you, but it's like ESPN and NBC and Dick Schaap and it's you. Yo, no, don't do it, but I want to give him his flowers. I owe him an apology. I owe Keith Motley an apology. I owe Dave Lato an apology. I'll apologize to him later on. But the apology with Jim Calhoun, I called him and wanted to go to his last NCAA victory. And I went to he gave me a lecture, and he said, call so-and-so, call so-and-so. He made it so I could be there for the Final Four when he went to the Final Four. Now, me and my dumb ass, I go and get a film camera into the arena for the first game. The security comes down, they swoop me, and I'm with Jim Calhoun. They're like, yeah, right, sure you are. Mind you, long story short, he got fined. He doesn't know he got fined. He didn't say anything. He made sure the people around me, they were trying to get him out of here, get him out. Coach Calhoun was like, no, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. It's his family. I didn't know that. I didn't find that out until about 5 or 10 years after that. And, and I think he got fined. He doesn't want to say, he's probably not going to say anything about it now. But I know that the amount of love that he has for his players over the years is one of the major reasons why he had the success that he had as a Husky here and went to another Husky place and took it to another level. I can't really say it, but, right now I have a t-shirt on that says Jim Calhoun, and I wear it all the time. He doesn't know. Everybody, they just find it out for the first time, as I use this whole platform for my therapy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Perry Moss, Pete Harris, and Jim Calhoun, 1981 Northeastern Huskies basketball team.
Score update, Huskies beat UMass Amherst over at Cabot here, big time by 10 points. We'll take a 10-point win. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for bringing together such a prestigious class here. Really respect the work that you've done to bring us to this point, so thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for all your efforts. You've heard some themes here tonight. Family, special place, unique place, community. That's what Northeastern Athletics is about. That's what Northeastern University represents. We're fortunate to have family, community, special place. It continues on. I feel like I'm on the longest extended co-op job going since I've been here since 1981. I haven't left the university. I've been fortunate. But all the way through, and I've got mentors here, and Jack Malone and others, all the way through, this is what Northeastern represents. When my good friend over here, Keith Motley, goes and takes a leadership role over at UMass Boston, he's still part of this family. He talks about this family. We just heard Coach Calhoun, who's had tremendous success at UConn, how special this place was. Talked to Donnie McLeod before, how special this place is. I can go on. It's a special, unique place. We're fortunate to be part of the Northeastern University community. To the Hall of Famers and those that are here, our student athletes still represent and reflect those special, unique characteristics. There's grit, there's texture, there's sandpaper to them. They compete, they battle. They do all that in the classroom. They do it on the athletic field. They do it on co-op. They do it in the community. We've got great student athletes who are representing us each and every day at the highest level. The eras change, the names change, but that same texture, that same grittiness and characteristic still is exemplified in our student athletes. So I appreciate everyone coming here tonight. I congratulate the Hall of Famers once again. I ask you to continue coming out and supporting our student athletes, whether it be coming into the games, the venues, whatever opportunities you have, continue to support them.